Hey everyone, it's Denise Brown from caringourway.com and welcome to A Soul Break. We meet once a month to take a break from whatever it is that feels heavy in our soul. And today we're going to take a break from courage because in truth, we are called to be courageous every day during our caregiving and after caregiving experiences. And I think we are so courageous that we don't realize how courageous we are. And I also think sometimes we don't realize how draining it can be to always be the courageous one. So you're the one that starts the difficult conversations, that makes the heartbreaking decisions, that endures the disappointment. All of that takes courage. It takes courage to get out of bed in the morning, especially on days when you know something challenging, overwhelming, or upsetting may happen. Courage is a part of your day. And I thought, let's give it a break today. Let's put aside our courage and instead really focus on how can it feel like we're getting a break. So as we go through our soul break, I typically share 3 photos and 3 questions, and that's what we're going to do today. So I love this photo. I'm recording this just a few days before Christmas, but I would look at this photo any day throughout the year. It is festive, it's beautiful, and it's about multiple gifts. And I think in order for us to take a break from using our courage every day, we have to focus on what can we receive today. So I love this image of multiple gifts beautifully wrapped for us, surrounded by festive decorations. I love the calming colors, and I love the little touch of nature in the pine cones. We have a little bit of snow on them. So as you reflect on this image, I'd love for you to consider, what can you receive? And it's about receiving gifts. What are the gifts in your life that you can receive? You may have gifts in your relationships. You may have gifts in your refrigerator with something that you're going to eat and enjoy today. You might have gifts outside your front door because when you step out into the world, you also step into nature, and perhaps nature is giving you something that feels fabulous today, whether it be a sign of winter, warmer weather, whatever it might be. What's the gift outside for you that nature is giving you? What's the gift you can receive through, for instance, music you can enjoy, a book you can get lost in, a movie you can take comfort in watching? What are your gifts? What can you receive? Here's our second question for today to help us get a break from being courageous all the time. What can you remember? So I love this image because it reminds us that love is around us, that love is within reach. And I regularly remind myself to arrive everywhere loved. So this is an expression and an insight and a piece of wisdom that a fellow family caregiver gave me years ago. He cared for his wife, who was a psychiatrist, and that was the wisdom she lived by. Arrive everywhere loved. Sometimes the courage we have to actually draw on is the belief that we already have love. Sometimes when we're facing a difficult decision, we worry about how our caree will feel about us because we're making this difficult decision, or how other family members will feel about us. If we go into interactions, conversations, decisions, our day, knowing we are already loved, we are released from chasing it. We don't have to earn it. We don't have to win it. We don't have to win it over. We already have it. Arrive everywhere loved. And if you can remember that, you can give yourself a little bit of an easier day. And you can also give yourself a break from feeling courageous because you already have love. And I love this image because it just reminds us it's hanging there for us. Love is hanging there for us. All we have to do is take it. I love the colors. I love a little bit of nature. I love that it's sunny out. I love that there's texture in this image with the string and the clothespins and the hearts. It looks like the hearts are almost more than one dimension. There's a dimensional aspect to them. So what can you remember? So I gave you one insight to remember, that you are loved, and wherever you go, you take love because you already have it. What's something else you can remember? And it could be a courageous decision you made yesterday, courageous words you used last year, courageous choices you recently used. What can you remember about your wisdom, about your knowledge base, about love, about your courage? I think it's very easy for us to move from moment to moment to moment to moment to moment. And when we remember, we can step back and see that there has been beauty in our moments. There has been success in our moments. There have been gifts in our moments, and we want to remember those. What can you remember? Okay. Here's our third question to give us a break from courage. How will you relax? So I picked this photo because it looks like we can relax on this blanket. We could just lay back, close our eyes. I also like the idea that we could put things down in order to relax. So we can take off, for instance, the armor, the shield we wear to go out into the world because we know we're going to face something difficult. So we put on the shield in order to remain courageous. We can put that down. We can put down this public face that we feel required to wear because we don't want to show our caree how hard or stressful something might be for us, or because we just don't want to show our vulnerability, because sometimes that's hard for us. So how can we put that down? And I think about that with the glasses, a way to go out into the world with this public face that doesn't really disclose our private pain. But how can we take those glasses off for a few moments to simply relax into whatever we're feeling, however our day is going? How can we relax? What can we put down? The worry, the stress, the overwhelm, the to-do list, the draining experiences. What can we put down so we can lay out a blanket and relax in nature with eyes closed, with muscles at ease, with the only care in the world that we relax for the next few moments. How will you relax? In addition, when we relax, we also flow into trust, which is why it's hard to relax during caregiving, because we just can't trust that everything will be okay. So in this relaxing moment, you are okay, and it's okay to trust that. You can take a relaxing moment and you are okay, and you can trust that. Okay, so then we think about, what do we believe about courage? And it can be helpful to create simple statements about what you believe about your courage. And it could be, I believe I'm more courageous today than I was yesterday. I believe I can take care of my courage so I can continue to use it by relaxing as often as possible throughout my day. I believe courage is a muscle that needs to be relaxed so that it stays in good shape. I believe I call on my courage on a regular basis, and my courage serves me well. What's a belief statement you can write about courage that celebrates courage, that honors courage, that reminds you you have it? It's within you. It's accessible to you. What do you believe about your courage? We can also look to our belief wheel to get a little more specific about what we believe is possible about our courage. For instance, you may believe that taking time to play, to have fun, is one of the ways you can take care of your courage. You can also decide that within your family system, others have courage too. You don't always have to be the courageous one. Others can be courageous with you. You can decide to have the courage during the holidays to change traditions and your role within the holidays. You can decide to have the courage to say, I can't do that this holiday. I can do this. You can decide to be courageous about your health by making your health a priority. You can have the courage to honor your health by being honest about your health. Where does your health need your attention, and how can you focus on increasing your well-being? You can have the courage to express a value, which is the reason why you're making the decision you're making about a situation, a request, and availability that you have. I think sometimes We feel others don't quite understand why we're making decisions about how we use time during our caregiving experience. And so we can actually have the courage to say, I value time with my caree right now because I'm not sure how much time we have left. So I'm going to spend as much time as possible with my caree. This is how I feel today. I may change how I feel about my availability. And I'd love to touch base with you when I have more time. How does that sound? We can give ourselves the courage to make a decision right now with what we know, and then change that decision when we know something else. So you could pick one of these words on this wheel and create a belief statement around that as it relates to your courage. When I think about dreams, I think of having the courage to reach out for support around a dream you want to make a reality in the new year. And support to make that dream happen might be from outside your friend and family circle. It might be through a different type of support system. It might be through a new group you join or a new networking event you attend, or just a different circle of people. Okay, so we're going to close today. I'm just going to remind you of the 3 questions we asked ourselves earlier. What can you receive? What can you remember? How will you relax? And my last question for you is, how will you make room for courage and for relaxation? Actually, you know what? I'm going to adjust that question. How will you make room for courage and for stillness? I think about courage as being a lot of action. Maybe people don't see all the action we're taking with our courage, but inside we are doing a lot. We're thinking, we're getting ready, right? We're building up the courage, we're gathering the courage, we're managing the stress because we're doing something courageous. A lot is happening inside that might not be visible to others on the outside. So I think about courage and stillness as almost being opposites. And I see that in this image. We can see around the rocks that there's movement. The water is going around. The water is gathering and then streaming away. But we also see stillness. So on the opposite end of the rocks, we see stillness. There's room for courage and stillness. And I think we can take a few moments whenever we can to simply be still. Be still with where we sit. Be still with where we stand. Be still with what we think. Be still with what and who we love. We want room for both in our day. The stillness of knowing we are okay. The courage of taking the next step. We might first be still and then be courageous. And then after we're courageous, we may be still. There's a peacefulness about stillness. And in this image, we can also see a sun ray settling over the still area of the image. And we can receive the warmth of the world around us when we are still. So that sun ray is staying on the stillness because the stillness stands still. We can move with courage and we can be present with stillness. How will you make room in your day for courage and for stillness? Okay. Feel free to join us on Caring Our Way, which is our community. I have all the archives for our soul breaks, plus all the events and special activities that we host. We'd love for you to join us. So you can go to caringourway.com to receive our support. Thanks for all you do. Bye-bye.